Hey everybody, I am on for the midweek message reveal Wednesday, September, March 15th. Hey, I'm back. My situation here is a little temporary while I get set up. Things will start looking more in a structured format, but for now I wanted to make sure that everybody got to see that I am here and ready to get kicking on the midweek message again. So energies this week, we have, let's see, the sun, Mercury, and Neptune and Saturn all in Pisces, as well as that is squaring Mars in Gemini. So we have lots of really interesting energy that is kind of causing potentially miscommunications, some delusional kind of vibes. Maybe things are feeling like a little triggery, and at the same time, not really sure that you can, if you're really getting your point across, or if what someone else is giving you as far as information is really feeling like what you're receiving. So there's kind of a disconnect there. And that energy is going to be a bit itchy. Itchy is the word I'm hearing. And it's difficult to scratch. So be mindful a little bit as we take stock of all of the things that we're saying and feeling and doing. And with Pisces, energy tends to be a bit detached and dreamy. You might be having some challenges with boundaries too. So make sure that you boundary up. Try not to take things too personally. Give yourself a little bit of a breather before you react or before you say or do anything, as you should anyway. But with the energies, you might be feeling a little disoriented and a little detached. So that happens. We'll be out of it soon enough. We do have the equinox on the 20th. That's coming up next week. So big energy now is the time to get your ducks in a row, get your stuff organized, purge things, clean things, take stock of what you have and what you're looking to do moving forward, as the energy is going to continue to kick up and give you more ways to benefit from this forward movement. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and jump into your cards. All right, if you chose one, your card is awakening. And that's a 9. Very sad sort of angel face happening here. Remember, 9s have to do with things that have to be tied up, a loose end, or something that needs to finish before you can move on to the next step. It's a combination of 3s though, which has to do with the Ascended Masters. So this is a divinely guided sort of movement here that is, you have your big guys on your side. So your Jesuses, your Shivas, your Ganeshas, your Buddhas, all the big players are here and making sure that this awakening happens. But you might be finding that you're feeling a little bit crumbled, feeling a little bit torched, similar to the face that's happening here. It's a very dramatic card. I'm drawn here to the center where there is like a pyre. It almost looks like the equivalent of maybe like a tower moment, which would be in tarot, the tower card having to do with things that are of our foundations that need to get rocked and taken down in order for us to rebuild. You might be feeling like that. You might be feeling a little charged. It's got very big marshmallow vibes. Although I like a burnt marshmallow. How about you? The energy here is that you are awakening to another version of yourself. You might be feeling like things don't fit like they used to. You might find that there's a disconnect, similar to some of the energy that I was talking about earlier. That disconnect is internalized though. So where are you not in alignment with the things that you're really wanting now? And there may be a sense of grief. I'm actually feeling, admitting that things have changed, because, say you want to go to school to be an architect, and this is what you're going to do, right? You've got this planned. You're going to school to be an architect. This is my life. This is what I'm going to do. I can see it. I can feel it. I can taste it. This is how it goes. I know the curriculum. I know what books I need. And you start getting into it and you realize, I don't know if this is really what I want to do. But there's a lot of pressure for you to continue to keep going forward because you said you would. And think about your word on things here, one. You're allowed to change your mind whenever you want, and you don't have to give an explanation. If that's holding you back, if that's the thing that needs to get tied up so you can kind of extinguish the flames that you're kind of putting yourself through, know that you are awakening to another version of you that wants a deeper experience, this should be pinging for certain people who have made a choice recently. And that choice isn't a bad thing. It got you to a point where you had to reassess. So if you're feeling like reassessing is something that's happening now, that's big with 1. And this moving forward will allow you that clarity that we're seeking. Pisces energy is going to bring that for a lot of us, especially fixed signs. Okay, so I'm moving on to card 2. Group 2. If you chose 2, your card is Divine Being, which is a 16. This card is wild. Big robot vibes. I'm really drawn to the zeros and the code that's happening here. Very matrixy, very robotic, very AI. And 16s are a 7, which is the sign of intuition, the sign of good luck, the sign that you're on the right path and you're doing the right things, and you're starting to come into a place where you are syncing up to your potential. So 2, I'm feeling a lot like actually in my ribs on both sides. It's just like a general sort of aching. You might be feeling like you're growing wings. And I know that might sound a little weird, but it's an expansion of the heart chakra that's actually moving out the back of the body. And that expansion is something that you've been working towards. I'm even hearing too that for those of you who were in 2, you've kind of moved through a part that 1 is in. And no one is in competition with one another or anything like that. This is just a step in the process. Everyone is on their own path. Everyone has different ways of things that are syncing up for them, and we do things in a jumbled order. And there is no order, really, is what I'm saying. There are no rules. There are no goods or bads. We as humans put that on ourselves and put that on the things that we experience. So take that aside. But 2s, you've come through and you've kind of honed in and you've realized that you do have some really special skills. I wouldn't be surprised if you're starting to feel, I'm kind of getting in the right eye and the right cheekbone up into the ear, some pressure there. So you may be actually feeling some changes that are happening in the physical eye as your intuition is expanding. So we have an expansion through the back in the heart chakra that's allowing you to expand and have more of that light, more of that access to your energy. That's also connecting to what's happening here in the eye and the third eye, which is tying you a bit more into your intuition. So listen to those nudges that are coming through. Acknowledge that the things that you are thinking and feeling and those little pings that you're actually getting information there. You are a divine being. You are on the right path. Lots of purples, lots of blues, and that code, man. If you haven't watched The Matrix recently, give it a go. You might find something a little bit different. That kind of ping for me too. All right, moving on to 3. Group 3, your card is Resilience. This card is amazing. It's got such earth vibes. I wouldn't be surprised if there's the people who chose 3 have high earth placements in your chart. And that's a 30, which is the 3, which is Ascended Masters. You've really come through a tunnel, a birthing process. And that seems to kind of be a theme here for everyone as we take a look at the cards. In the beginning with group 1, with the Awakening card, as you're kind of recognizing that things aren't serving and you want to make that change. To 2, with Divine Being and understanding that you embody everything that you need. Everything that you have is in you and is a part of you, and you have that access, just like Wizard of Oz, Dorothy. Like, everything's there. She could have gone home whenever she wanted. You're realizing that, but you're also realizing that you've been here before and you've gotten through a really difficult time. And you've been through difficult times, 3. You've been through them before and you're going through them again. And that is the difficult aspect of this card, is that if you even look at her face, she's got such a resigned vibe to her. Very stoic. Even the colors, very muted. Not a lot of depth, but a lot of grounding. So this trial that you've been through that has caused you to be so resilient, 3, is the thing that has started to allow you to ground really down into the physical. There may be physical things that you've had to go through where you're identifying back with certain parts of your body, what it can or can't do. I'm also hearing aging. I'm hearing things about how time has affected some things that have happened with 3. Now know that that's a concept. Time is a concept. It's a construct. It's not something that really exists. It's something that we agree to as humans in order for us to be in this density. So you can play with the concept of aging. You can play with the concept of whether or not you're physically able to do something. It's all in your head. Now, granted, that takes time and practice, and it takes a lot in order for you to get into the mindset where you know that you can do and be anything that you want, and that the limitations we place on ourselves are self-imposed. But what you've done so far, 3, is you've gone through the canal again. You've gone through the changes. You've gone through the birthing process. And you're in a space that is much more structured. I'm really drawn here to it's almost like a piping that's looking like up here. It's got some sort of galactic sort of spaceship underground Mad Max stuff. I know I just said like 4 different venues all in one. But there is something that's more organized about this path you've gone through, this happening that has occurred, and some of you might be in the end stages of it. You're not all the way out yet. You're kind of in the tunnels. Know that there is a structure and there is a place here that is going to be much more organized. You're not putting yourself through the same things. You're not falling into the same pitfalls that you have before, because you are resilient. You've done this already. You've done an aspect of this. You've experienced this to a certain point. You've changed and you've learned. And I'm hearing, when you know better, you do better. You didn't know better before, but you do now. And that's all that matters. Small, measurable goals, incremental growth, attaboys, attagirls, attapeoples, whatever it is that you need in order to get you from point A to point B. Just know that you are acquiring tools and skills, and you're softening in a way too. So I know that the color scheme here is very, very subterranean, warm, earthy, but you're going to get to a place where the air is fresher, that has more airflow, and there's going to be a lushness that should happen within, I'm hearing three weeks. Within the 3-week movement, if you're moving into spring, if you're in the Northern Hemisphere, there is this shift that's going to happen with the change of seasons. I would put a lot of your emphasis on what you can do with this equinox that's coming up next week. How can you get yourself prepared to where you can kind of offload some of the heaviness that's happening here and allow yourself to actually benefit from the resiliency that you have as an individual and the things that you've done and all that you've accomplished in this time. So you might be feeling I'm getting a lot in my left ear, some pinging there. So you might be getting information that's coming through in a clairaudient sense too. So if you're hearing your name, if you're hearing words that are in line with messages that you might be thinking of, if you've been thinking about a blue car, and someone says, oh yeah, look, I like that blue car over there, you are kind of getting in what I like to call the pocket. So your synchronicities could be lining up as well. So keep an ear out rather, for the things that you're hearing, not just the things that you're experiencing, because there is some expansion that's happening there for you. So those are the messages this week. If you're interested in working with me, please feel free to reach out. I would love to work with you. Check my link below. Tag and share with a friend. I would love to expand this a bit, so let everybody know that we're back on track here for midweek messages, and there's going to be more to come here from me that I'm really excited about developing for you. So please watch this space. All right. Have an awesome week. Know that I'm thinking about you. We'll check you later. Peace.